Okay, but what's a battery, Daniel? Yeah, you were right.
It's a container of energy.
Well done. What type of energy?
Um, electric.
Oh, well done. The first thing we do is a battery. So I'm going to draw the symbol for a battery, and I'm going to draw a picture of a battery, so we know it's.
What is the symbol for?
So if we get a battery,
Yeah.
we know it's got a pointy bit and a flat bit like this. Yeah. Yes.
Mhm.
So this is called the plus and the minus. Okay.
No, it's called negative and positive.
So or positive and negative. Yes. So that's a battery, and this is the symbol for a battery when we're drawing diagrams. So the next thing we're going to do is, the point of all this is that we have a lot of colored lights. We have red lights, yellow lights, and green lights. And we're going to use them for our brake lights. Remember we used scratch? Exactly. So we're going to use our switches and our lights. So as an example here, what we're going to do first is when we press the button, this is like the brake, and the red lights are going to come on. Okay? So these are my brake lights, they're red. And then we're going to use the other lights for my indicators, and we're also going to add a horn as a beep. So when we press the button, it goes beep beep. Okay? So,
What is?
exactly, good question, Daniel. So let me show you the switches. So we have this press button switch, which looks like this. Okay?
Yeah.
And the way these are, maybe David can help me build a switch,
Can I?
and you can build one as well, Daniel.
Yeah.
So maybe if everyone builds a switch.
Okay.
So,
I know how to make one.
so let's put the bits out, and everyone gets to build their switch. So this is a base, then we put on a color. So everyone gets to pick a color. Have you got base? And David will give you one.
What's this?
Okay.
Daddy, I found out something.
So, and there's the caps. So we have a switch and we have a cap.
What color do you want? Do you want blue?
So who wants the? So everybody put a cap
Or
on the switch.
green?
Okay.
Daddy, what's
So there's a
this
cap for you, Dora.
meant for?
I don't know. That's a different lesson.
Okay.
Okay. So push it on. Everyone check.
Yeah.
So push it on,
And
Dora.
then it should look like a spider.
Excellent.
With only 2 legs.
So does anyone know what a switch does?
I know
What?
what a button does.
Yeah.
It triggers something to go in a different way.
Right. Well, what happens when you turn the switch on
And
the wall?
I know it
Okay, well,
comes
let
to like.
let David
oh,
answer. David, what happens?
It turns the lights on.
Yeah. So how does it do that?
I know.
Why?
I know.
Well, no. Well, that's maybe Tara will ask. How does the light switch turn on the lights? What happens when you press the switch? Is it magic?
No.
Hogwarts magic?
Sadly not.
Sadly not. No. What does happen then?
Electricity.
Yes.
It makes a
It's
source
like-
of electricity. to
So let's
come.
do a simple. Let's start with the what happens when we press the light switch. So we have a light, and the symbol for a light is like this. Not very good, but that's a light. Okay.
Okay. Can
And then
put
I have
my
a
button
switch.
here, Daddy?
And the symbol for a switch is like this. And do you know why it's like this? Because
I
it can
know.
close or if
And
it opens.
It can close so the electric can run. And
Exactly.
Then it can open, and then it can close so the electric can run.
So what happens is, this is my electricity, my battery or my electricity. This is my light switch.
Yeah.
So when it's open, the electricity goes to here and it goes, oi, I'm stuck, I can't get across. But if I close the switch, the electricity goes through the light and back around again, and it lights it. Okay?
And
So a
keeps
switch,
them going
a
around.
switch basically connects the circuit and the electricity flows through the light. Okay? So what we're going to do is we've two lights here. So let me explain our lights here.
Connected to a breadboard, which the
So
breadboard is connected
we need
to
to-
a Raspberry Pi.
Okay, so looking at the switch, here's how it works. So when you press the switch, what happens is
I know.
this side and this side connect. So normally they're not connected like this, and when I press the switch, they both connect. So allowing electricity through. Okay? So if I put that here like this,
Okay.
um,
Oh, I
and
think
so
I
let me
know.
explain as well the breadboard. This is called the breadboard.
Can I tell you how it works?
Yes.
So look, everything goes along here, this way.
Yeah, that's correct, Daniel.
And then,
Well, wait, we have to explain
and
that to the
it
guys so that they
connects.
understand.
so
Daniel,
look,
Daniel,
if you
wait
put
till we
this
explain to the
here,
guys.
it connects all the way from here.
So this is a breadboard for making circuits, and the way it's organized is that each row here is all one piece. So this dot is connected to this dot, but each row is separate. Does that make sense? So each line here along here is all, those 5 dots are all connected together. So I'm going to put my switch here like this,
And Daddy, I know what will
and
happen.
where the, so if we look here closely, you'll see that along this row is the switch here connects to the LED, and this is called,
And then it
anyone know
goes-
why it's called a LED? LED.
I know.
Why, Daniel?
Light electricity device.
Something like that. It's called light emitting diode. Now that's kind of a cool name, but it's really just, it's a special type of light. Okay. And
What does emitting mean?
one thing means sending out.
Okay.
So one interesting thing about these lights, these LEDs, is that they also have a plus and a minus. So that means you have to connect it the right way around.
Positive and negative.
So how do I know, looking at that, what can you tell, Dora, the difference between,
One
two
is
legs.
longer and the other is shorter.
yes. So how do we remember which is which? So the way I remember is long legs are a plus, because if I have long legs, that's better, isn't it? So long legs are a plus. Okay?
Oh, Daddy, you can
So
remember it like this. Long is for plus, so plus will be longer. Because plus is higher.
so let's
You add
draw
something
our
to
circuit
it, and
again.
then negative is long.
So this time we can erase this guy. Zzz, and we'll draw our circuit here.
Can I do it?
So, no, Daddy's going to draw it. So here's our battery.
Yeah.
The positive is going to come in here. We have this thing called a resistor. What's a resistor, Daddy?
I know. It's something that resists.
It is. Now, this is my light going out. And did I forget anything in the circuit here? This is a
To
resistor.
add the to add the button.
Well done, Daniel. This is a resistor. This is my LED light.
If you didn't have the button, then it won't work.
Well, it would work all the time, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So let's check, does it work all the time first? Okay, so now we're going to power it up. And what we should see is, when we power it up, that my LED lights. Okay? So let's do that.
Can I power it up?
Not yet, Daniel. So positive here. Okay. So now I have my 2 resistors, and we're going to lie these guys down so they're out of the way. So the electricity is going to go from top here into this little resistor, into the LED, and then out the other side, and it should light. Who thinks it's going to work?
Me.
Does anyone think it's going to work? We're not very confident. Dora, is it going to work? Well, let's try it.
Can I
Let's
put
power it on and see what happens.
Can I power it up?
Okay, you can power it on. So put this in the USB port
USB.
in there.
Okay.
then we'll have to wait for a few seconds for it to come on. Okay.
Okay, it's
Okay.
okay. Does
So-
that light need to be green?
Yeah, it'll
Okay.
take a while to start up. So now we're going to
Choo choo.
connect some wires. Open this. Okay. So we have
But
these little
does-
connecting wires
wait,
that make it
Daddy,
neat.
But what does PWR and ACT stand for?
So PWR is power.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is connect from. We have this is the voltage signal, so 3.3 volts.
Ground,
So we're going to connect here,
isn't it?
and we normally use red. So red is normally used for positive, the plus side, okay, and black is normally used for negative. So if I put him in there, so now I've connected.
What's
So
black?
see if you can find a black. We'll go brown, okay.
Can I do it?
Well, why don't okay. So who can find ground? Ground is another name, GND.
Here,
Alright, can anyone see ground?
here.
So this is also known as GND, ground.
Daddy, here.
Okay? But they couldn't fit it in the writing. So if we go,
Daddy, here.
yeah, thanks Daniel. So done? Okay. So here we have this one here. So now if I connect this down here, dun dun dun, I hope it's gonna work.
It's not working so far.